welcome to another Math with Madsen lesson. Today we will be writing equations. And you're like, we've already done this. We've written expressions. Now we're going to write equations. So you're exactly right, though. You can use what you know about writing expressions to help you today. So if you still remember how to do that really well, today will be a breeze. Meaning, do you still remember that a quotient is divide? A product is times, sum is add, and difference is subtract. If you still remember that, today will be easier. If you've forgotten that, then remind yourself what those are. So the only thing I'm adding today, the only difference between an expression and an equation is that equations have an equal sign. So whereas an expression was just 2 plus 2, an equation is including the equal sign. So 2 plus 2 is 4. Is means it's equal to, right? So this algebraic or this equation can be written like that. So if we want to say 2 is the difference of 12 and 10, we're going to write that as 2 is. We're going to remember that difference means subtract, and then we're going to make really sure that we put it in this order, 12 minus 10. Because that's the order. It has 12 first. Okay, so 2 is the difference of 12 and 10. And if we look, yeah, 12 minus 10 is 2. So now let's go on to algebraic equations, meaning they're going to give us something that we don't know. They'll either tell us a letter or they'll just say a number. If it just says a number and doesn't tell us what the number is, then we can use n. Okay, or we can use L or C or M, right? That's when we use a variable, is when we don't know what that number is, okay? So 6 fewer than a number. We're going to also remember that fewer than and less than is that turnaround word. So we're going to have a number. We're going to go 6 fewer than that is 46.33. So that is 6 fewer than a number. Okay, now what about 2/3 of the cost of a sweater is $18? We don't know the cost of a sweater, right? Here it just said a number that we didn't know, but in this one it gives us the cost of a sweater, which we don't know. So I'm going to use C as the cost of the sweater. Okay, C is cost. Now of indicates times. So when I rewrite this, I'm going to go 2/3 times the cost of a sweater is 18. And we could rewrite that as just 2/3 C is 18. We could write it as 18 equals 2/3 C. Okay, remember that coefficients and variables, they're always times together. So if you want to be lazy and just smash them together, you totally can. Okay, so another reminder of those turnaround words. If you see less than or more than or taller than or fewer than, we need to put it at the end because we need to know what that is, and then we want to take less than that. So if this says 8 more than the number of children, we don't know the number of children. What letter should we use? I don't know, C for children. And then we want 8 more than that is 24. Okay, or M minutes less than 80. So we're going to swap the 80 minutes and the M minutes. So it'll look like this. 80 minus M minutes is 15, right? Because M minutes less than 80, M probably equals something like 30 minutes. And it would be really weird to do 30 minus 80. That does not equal 15. Actually, we know exactly what it is. It's 75, right? M has to be 75. That has to be the equation. So this equation wouldn't work if we did 75 minus 80. That doesn't give us, okay, it's not 75 either. It's 65. Let's just kind of start over. Backing up. Clear back to, guess what? M is 65. Is that correct? 80 minus 65. I better make sure. Okay, 15. Okay. So the reason those turnaround words are so important is because we can't go 65 minus 80 and get 15 minutes, can we? Do you want to come say hi? Good morning. Come here. Oh, I've been told that everyone likes to see you in these videos. So can you say hi? Hi. You want to show them what your shirt is? What's your shirt? What's your shirt?
Elsa.
It's Elsa. Okay, you want to say hi, bye? Okay, you're gonna come over here now because they also don't like these videos being super long. Oh, okay, you can stay right there. You can't be distracting. Okay, as I was saying, lesson is important because this right here doesn't make sense. But if you put it at the end, after the 80, then it totally makes sense. That's why you have to turn things around or it doesn't make sense. Now, with more than, because addition has the commutative property, either way you do it, it's going to be 24, okay? But subtraction especially, you really have to watch those turnaround words. Okay, we're not going to do these examples. If you'd like to, I don't know. No, you guys like these short videos short. Okay, so the second part of this lesson is to do the opposite. I'm going to give you the algebraic equation. You have to write it down. Now, there's multiple ways that you could say that. You could say 9 more than a number is 14. You could say the sum of x and 9 is 14. You could say a number plus 9 equals 14. Okay? So lots of different options. You could say increase, a number increased by 9. You could say the total of x and 9 equals 14. Okay, so let's practice that with this. This is in your notes again. You could say 45 plus m equals, oops, you got to write it though. Oh, I don't want that. Equals 97, right? You could do the fancy word, the sum of 45, no, we're good. The sum of 45 and m is 97. You could say m more than 45 is 97. See how there's lots and lots and lots of options there? Okay, now with something like this, you could say 6 multiplied by g is 54, right? 6 times a number is 54, or you could do the fancy math word and say the product. The product of 6 and a number equals 54. So what are you going to write for this one? Say 124 is 4 times n, or 4 times a number, because that's what n is. It's a number that we don't know. Or you could say 124 equals the, let's be fancy, the product of 4 and n. Okay, there's lots of other things, but those are kind of the main things. If we have division, we could just say a number, or t, divided by 5 is 9, or equals 9, right? If we want to use a math word, we could say quotient. And we're going to make sure we put the t first, the quotient of t and 5 equals 9. Or you could say divide a number by 5 and get 9. Okay, so what are your options for this one? You could say w divided by 8.1 is 15.8. You could say, here's the fancy way now, the quotient of a number and 8.1 equals 15.8. Yeah. Okay. So those are your options. More options with division, but subtraction. A number minus 4 is 23, right? Minus, decrease by, difference, less than, subtracted from. All of those are subtraction words. Okay, so for this, we could say 5 3/4. Do you notice that I'm not writing out like 5 3/4? Okay, you don't have to be that wordy, but you do have to write out everything but the numbers. 5 3/4 is a number minus, can you hear her? I'm trying to ignore her to see if she'll go away. Hey, I need you to go away for a minute. Okay, go find your brother or sister and annoy them. Okay, so that's an option. You could say 5 3/4. Thank you, Lisbon. Equals the difference of x and 1/2. Okay, and there's more options there, but get at least 2 written down. Okay, so here's some more that you could practice if you would like. If you want to pause it because you feel like you don't have enough practice, write those out, and then hopefully it sounds something like this. And pause that again if you want to check your answers, but I'm going to give you one more. Okay, so Ben is making a recipe for salsa that calls for 3.5 cups of tomatoes. He chops the tomatoes, which fill 2 1/4 cups. Write an equation that could be used to find how many more cups C that Ben needs. How many more? I believe this could be an addition problem, right? So his recipe calls for 3.5 cups. He needs it to equal 3.5 cups. He has 2 1/4 cups, and he needs to know how many more cups. So if we add what he's already done with how many more he needs, that will give us the total amount that he has. Okay, I'm not giving you a lot of example with these word problems. So there's our first word problem. Let's do one more word problem just so you're a little more ready. No, maybe I don't have another word problem. Okay, you're just gonna have to practice. And good, I guess we're done. So hopefully you can practice writing word equations, word algebraic equations with algebraic equations.